The calendar has flipped to March and championship season has arrived in the ACC. An absolutely stunning morning in Raleigh where the long winding road takes one final stop in the capital city. All paths head to Tulsa, but first a pit stop inside Reynolds Coliseum. In a year that saw 3 teams share the regular season title, only one will be crowned today here at these 2023 ACC Wrestling Championships. 33 automatic allocations for the upcoming NCAA championships to be earned today, and there are certainly familiar names. Both Coleman Scott and Keith Gavin hoping they will send a strong contingency. The national champion Austin O'Connor back. Holden Heller, one of 4 top seeds for the Panthers, alongside his teammate Cole Matthews as he looks to defend his title from a year ago. It is a busy day of wrestling. We're ready to bring it to you. First round action coming up in just moments. Semifinals, the consolation semis, the consolation finals, all on ACC Network Extra. And then tonight, prime time, 7 o'clock Eastern, we bring you the ACC Championships. And a pleasant good afternoon. Sean Kinney alongside longtime Division I official and UVA wrestler Rock Harrison. Great to have you with us. Rock, we've been waiting for this day really since we closed the chapter last year in Detroit. A lot of excitement. What's it mean for the athletes and the coaches?
I tell you what, the environment is so electric here for the early rounds, so you know it's going to be a great day of wrestling. The wrestlers, they're nervous, but they're getting to the position where they know they've got to perform to get to that next level of being an ACC champion and moving on to the NCAA championships. It's going to be a great day.
So what makes this championship so special? We have a lot of returning firepower. Count them up, 10 returning champions in all.
10 returning champs, but there are a couple weight classes where someone is going to go home unhappy. Latona and Philippi at 133, O'Connor and Scott at 157, Bolin and Hidley at 184. These are returning champions, but they're in the same weight class. Someone's going to be upset.
Every year we anxiously await what are the weight brackets to keep an eye on. Rock, give us the winners this year.
Starting with 141, the concentration of top 12 guys is at 141. No one has been able to figure out the Cole Matthews puzzle, but Ryan Jack and Lappin O'Neal have been doing their best. But I tell you what, he's the favorite to win it. But 141 is extremely deep. But when you look at 184, you have 5 automatic qualifiers led by national finalist Trent Hidley. And then number 2 seed, All-American Hunter Bolin. Gavin Kane, number 3 seed, has beaten Hunter Bolin 2 out of the last 3 times. And the number 5 seed only won the toughest tournament this year in the Midlands.
Every single match coming your way inside Reynolds Coliseum, where they are expecting huge crowds throughout the course of the afternoon, and then obviously leading into the primetime edition tonight of these ACC Wrestling Championships.
And Sean, this is the first NC State wrestler out on the mat, and we're going to see if the fans are going to get behind them early or they're just going to hold it for the semis and the finals.
Kai Arini has made his way, gets his ankle band strapped on, matched up against Duke's Logan Agin. Agin, the junior from Lancaster, Ohio. Trying to come in on an upper body shot. Easily fended off by Arini, the redshirt sophomore from Imperial, Missouri.
And it's interesting that Logan Agin, he changed weights mid-season. He was a 25-pounder. And he went up to 133. You don't see that too often during the season. It's usually during the off season when you have a chance to develop. But it looks like a lateral drop. No back points, just a takedown. Over and under, get in. Beautiful lateral drop. No back points, good neck bridge. 2-0 lead.
Agin tries to hit a roll. Arini stays with him. A 4-0 lead for Kyle Arini, North Carolina State. Talked about Agin bumping up to 133 this year. He felt it was a more natural weight for him. It was strictly his choice to move up to this new weight. A guy who's very comfortable in those upper body tie-ups. You saw him try to get to the double unders early, but it backfired with Arini.
And you know what? He looks like a decent size 133 Agin.
He does. Yes, he does. able to get back up to his feet, try to
Good hustle.
push his way back into the center, and he gets the hard-earned point.
What I liked about that is sometimes people think they're out, and then the top rusher just reattacks. But Agent, he just kept running away to get the escape. 2.
.46 seconds by the way of riding time for Orini. Now he comes right back in, right side of the body. Agent does a good job of fending him off. Back into the over-under position, though, for Kyle Orini, and you can bet Agent will be ready for that lateral drop opportunity here to defend against it.
At this point, he wants to what's called pummel. He wants to get his left side. Agent wants to get in. He wants to get his left hand on the inside. Little cement mixer. Cement mixer. This is big time. This is big. This is big for team points. Big for team points. Look at. Way to start it off for NC State. Cement mixer to a fall. Hey, Sean, remember this. Bonus points are a big deal. Kyorini, cement mixer. Getting pumped up with the crowd. And so he goes underhook, over, and we're going to go cement mixer. Roll through and then readjust. And when he was there, he was not going to let it go. This was very important. Look at the underhook. Underhook rolls through with the momentum, gets on top, keeps the half Nelson. And once he kept the half Nelson, he readjusted, worked for the fall. Great start for NC State.
Raleigh hosting the ACCs. They were here a couple of years ago, and now for the 13th time, the capital city with all of the ACC's best. NC State and Virginia Tech have just flat out dominated this tournament. The Wolfpack looking for their 5th consecutive championship. And then, as we talked about earlier, 10 past champions in the field, 5 of them won a title 12 months ago. Now you go back, the last time we have seen a dominant team like NC State was the heyday from Maryland, back when they won 20 straight from 1954 to 1973. Ferrero trying to get to his offense, and you see Ed Scott, one of the crowd favorites inside Reynolds. A guy known for putting up a lot of points and putting wrestlers in very uncomfortable positions will go to work.
And when some people want to complain about seeds, sometimes it's very advantageous in a tight team race to be the 3 seed in the ACC tournament, because not only are you expected to win, but oftentimes you're expected to score bonus points. And Ed Scott is expected to score bonus points, just like his teammate at 133, Kai Orini, with a fall. Watch the throw. Little slide of the head, and look for a tilt right here. Back points. And while tech falls are good, everyone knows when you are in a tight team race, pins are great. It looks like a cement job. This is PA right here. PA with a cement job. Bonus points, my man. NC State, they're not playing around. Ed Scott.
Just getting started here in Raleigh, and Ed Scott giving this Sunday afternoon crowd something to cheer about. In fact, a couple of wrestlers for NC State bonus point victories in this early round. It all started with the transfer from Northern Iowa, Jack Wagner, then Kai Orini, always colorful. Lachlan McNeil in his ACC debut, the veteran Jared McClearen, and now the fall from Ed Scott. We are off and running here in this edition of the ACC Championship. good look at the side-by-side mats here, the two-mat system inside Reynolds Coliseum. We've been talking bonus points a lot, what they stand for. Well, here you go. This is how big they can really loom later as you go deeper into the afternoon and evening. A fall is worth 2 additional team points. We've seen a technical fall from Orini, which is additional 1.5 for NC State. And then the major decision with an additional point to go along with your advancement points. And we've seen really Penn State on the national script really write the successful formula with how valuable bonus points can be when it comes championship time of the year.
Absolutely right. And doing the math, there are ways where a person can have bonus points and consolations and bonus points and not win and score more points than someone that did win the tournament.
We're back to action, 165. It is Matty Singleton, the freshman. We were talking about the great state of Georgia. He is a Georgian, Moreland, Georgia, part of Woodward Academy. And we weren't sure a couple of weeks ago if we would see Singleton compete in the postseason. Pat Papalizio told us they were going to have a conversation following the North Carolina duel. It looks like they have made the decision with the way that Singleton has been wrestling to let it fly here in March.
And he said that it was going to be Matty Singleton's decision. And clearly Matty made the decision he thought that was not just in his best interest, but also in the best interest of the team.
Singleton's had a really good year, even though he lost to Holden Heller 5-2. He had a 7-match winning streak snapped in that loss to Heller, who earned the top seed. Matty Singleton, a guy who started this year at 174. Took some lumps up at that weight. They put him on a pretty strict diet plan, and then he focused on getting down to 165. He made his debut at the Journeyman Collegiate Classic down in the Big Easy in New Orleans, and he looked really comfortable at the new weight. Wrestled very well, and it has been pretty much Singleton ever since New Orleans.
And Coach Papalizio said that Matty Singleton never really lost or cut weight, as we say in wrestling, while he was in high school. So new experience for him, but obviously it looks like it's going very well.
And Rock, that's a good point. Keep in mind, he won state at 182 in Georgia, 4-time state champion, and now here he is in college at 165.
Wrestling is a lot of fun when you don't have to lose weight.
Gabe Dennett from Duke, redshirt senior, Golden, Colorado. That should be familiar. The state of Colorado has treated Duke very well through the years, mainly because of the Fine Silver family.
One thing you see from Matty Singleton is that he's a taller 165-pounder, and he doesn't really have penetration shots. He kind of just lower levels and snatches. You don't see him doing a traditional step in, drive your feet. He just reaches and snaps, and he's very difficult to take down. And that's doing a good job of circling and banging on the head, hang on the head. These things don't make a difference maybe in the first period, but throughout the match you can wear on your shoulders and your neck.
Pat Papalizio, calm right now, but what a year it was. They suffered the loss to Virginia Tech. They thought maybe they were out of it for the regular season title, but then Pitt stuns Virginia Tech. The Wolfpack were able to follow up with a win against the Panthers, and when the dust settled, 3 teams at 4-1 atop the ACC dual portion of the schedule, and that is what makes today so enticing for the fans across the country. Dennett starting underneath, carries the action out of bounds, back into the center we go. Good look at Matty Singleton.
Matty Singleton went to a double thigh pride, meaning went right inside and pushed forward. When you're a longer wrestler, that's very advantageous. The coaching staff like that little mat return. It wasn't a true mat return where you lift it up in the air. They liked the fact they went to a double thigh pride and then laced the ankle. It seems like that's something that they had worked on because it was a good clapping from the NC State coaching staff. It's always good when you see your wrestlers executing, obviously, what was taught during the practice room.
You know, as we have watched Duke on our mat today, one area the Blue Devils have really struggled at is getting out from underneath. We have watched them just not be able to get to any type of offense because all of their energy is just trying to find a way, a crevice to get out from underneath a punishing ride.
Tight waist tilt. So you're absolutely right there. And I cannot express it enough where the fans at home and even Sean and I, it's so much tougher than what it looks like. But bottom line is that bottom and escaping is a mentality. It is a mentality, it's a will. You're not going to you're not going to keep me down. But it is tough, especially when you have someone that is as crafty as this freshman is in Maddie Singleton.
See what Dennett does here. This is a pivotal 30 seconds for Gabe Dennett, I think. If he can find a way to get the point late in this second period. Singleton continuing to ride.
You saw that little sneaky. He lifted the ankle to get the left leg in. He used his right leg, lifted the ankle. Once that ankle was up, he put his left leg in and got a very strong second period ride.
This crowd in Raleigh, they know they're wrestling and they appreciate a good ride like they saw from Singleton. So they are going to voice their pleasure with what they have seen so far from the freshman. Great scene this morning outside the arena, though, wasn't it? You had the breakfast tailgaters, fans just lined up waiting to get in.
That's the benefit of being in a warm weather state. It's March and it's like 67 degrees outside, and they were grilling and having food for breakfast. It was a nice atmosphere for NC State.
I know we both have made the case. Let's bring the NCAAs to Raleigh here in the near future. I think this city would love it. Quick point for Singleton, so a 1-0 lead. Minute 51 of riding time for Maddie Singleton here in this first round match. 3 versus 6. Jarrett Trombley, here at 165, top seed in this particular weight, belonging to Holden Heller.
Nice.
As Singleton gets back to more offense.
Nice, lifted it up and then dropped down to a double. That's what you want. So here's drop up, trick from the outside to a double. This is what you want. Just get the first win, freshman. Get the first win. First time ever being at the ACC championships. Dennett's doing a good job of fighting that fingers. He's got to get his hips away. He gets an escape.
This is a wide open weight on paper at 165 for this conference. 3 NCAA qualifiers. Heller, the top seed. Justin McCoy, the 2 seed. Singleton at 3, and then you have Connor Brady, the 4 seed. Low strike there. Dennett reaching a little bit, countered beautifully by Singleton. And Maddie Singleton, for good measure, adds 2 more.
That was a good reshot. Shot by Dennett, defended, and then you know what? When Singleton defended, he didn't stand up. He defended it, stayed low, and when Dennett stepped up, he went into his shot. People call it reshots, re-attack. It's re-something. Oh, good shot by Dennett there. I just got stuck, though. I like the fact we're still trying at the end. And that does it. 7-win add-on a riding time. Makes it an 8-2 decision for Maddie Singleton over Gabe Dennett. And early rounds, NC State is doing a good job.
As Rock talked about, we dropped to 97 now. Trumbull, the 3 seed. Max Shaw, the 6 seed. The winner to get the 2 seed, Andy Smith. So North Carolina, NC State, they go toe-to-toe. And Rock, I know Max Shaw as a 6 seed certainly has caught your attention.
He's a dangerous 6 seed. Dangerous because he knows how to wrestle. He's an athlete. When they've wrestled in the past, Max Shaw was all over Isaac Trumbull, almost pinned Isaac Trumbull last year, and Isaac Trumbull just came back and got the fall. And so it's not like this is a weak number 6 seed. Max Shaw can go.
Shaw, the redshirt sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Thomas Jefferson High School. He was an NCAA qualifier 2 years ago, nearly missed out on an ACC championship, settled for the runner-up in 2021. However, things have not went his way this season. A tough 23. And as a result, the number 6 seed, but very, very dangerous, taking on Isaac Trumbull, one of the toughest wrestlers to score on, maybe the heaviest hips in the country. When you look at Trumbull, the sophomore from the Midwest, grew up in Springfield, Nebraska.
And here's the thing where Max Shaw should use his athleticism, because everyone knows, this is no secret, Isaac Trumbull's offense is very, very direct, and it's not a wide variety. He's going to come straight at you and do maybe a knee pull or a snatch, but his defense is outstanding. The way you beat Isaac Trumbull is not to shoot on him straight on. And this is what you talk about being a good coach. A good coach says, I know my wrestler. I know how they wrestle. Let me build off of what they do and not create something that I want to see. Isaac Trumbull has a skill set. Coach Papalizio and Coach McCall says, let's work with the skill set and not try to get you to do something else. This is the athleticism we're talking about here, where Max Shaw needs to continue to move. The good thing that Isaac Trumbull is doing right now is he's keeping Max back to the outside. It is an optics that looks very good for Isaac Trumbull, meaning that it looks like I'm working hard because your back is to the outside.
No score inside a minute, first period. One of our more anticipated matches in this opening round at 197.
See what I mean? The little snatch. He's not going to do a penetration step. He's going to just snatch and see what happens. So at this point, Max has got to keep circling, because if he keeps his back there, it just looks very, very bad. This is a typical Isaac Trumbull match. I'm just going to wear on him. And so the question is Max Shaw going to choose bottom if he has to go down? So it's an underhook, try to throw it by, a little trip. Good sprawl and a hustle around, but Isaac Trumbull did a good job of squaring up.
Flip of the disc comes up green. Shaw defers. Trumbull says, let's go down. So here we go, second period, no score. Pat Papalizio and the Wolfpack out to an early lead in the team race. Couple of bonus point victories for NC State in this morning, early afternoon session. And there is the escape for Trumbull in a 1-0 lead.
Trumbull is going to continue to push forward, not take any bad shots, and Max Shaw has to continue to circle and take shots. As you circle, take a little half shot. Just do a little something. And even though you don't see much happening, you can see that the aggressor is Isaac Trumbull. And if he keeps this, if he doesn't know another half shot or something, Max Shaw's gonna get back for stalling. So Max Shaw needs to just take another half shot, or excuse me, Isaac Trumbull needs to take another half shot to get a stall call.
This crowd getting antsy inside Reynolds Coliseum, and there is the stall call that they were wanting. So no harm yet. Shaw then tries to hit that duck, comes in on that high C, but boy, those hips just will smother you. Trumbull near the edge, no points awarded yet. Shaw trying to maintain his firm lock on the right thigh of Trumbull.
He wants to use the out of bounds to his advantage. This is not a good position for Shaw to be in. He wants to try and scoot out as best he can. And what is Isaac Trumbull going to do? He's going to try and, because in college wrestling, any part of the body that stays in is still live wrestling. So what Trumbull is trying to do is keep him in to a stalemate. There's a high C, but the problem is his arm got tucked and caught. He should have put that arm in the back pocket.
Keep in mind, it will be Shaw's choice in the third period.
Here's the question, what is Shaw going to do? Because from his feet, he hasn't shown really any threats. But as we all know, that Isaac Trumbull was pretty tough. They're looking, they're talking, they're talking, they're looking, they're talking, they're looking, they're talking, they're looking. Neutral. There was a quick discussion, back and forth. I don't know what. Hey, Max Shaw, he has the ability.
When a couple of Olympians tell you to go neutral in the corner, you listen. That's what Shaw is going to do. So he will start on the feet, down a point, third period underway.
Let's talk about that, Sean. How many coaching staffs can say, I have 2 Olympians in my corner? Not just Olympians, but medalists. What a recruiting tool that is for UNC. He's going to look for the bear hug. He's going to try and jack up for the bear hug.
Coleman Scott, Jameel Kelly, the 2 Olympians we're talking about, watching intensely right now as Max Shaw tries to pull off a seed upset here. Shaw, the 6th seed, in on a leg. It slipped on him, so Trumbull just crashes down on top.
This is good for Trumbull right here. Very good. This is where he likes to be. And what has to happen? Max Shaw uses the athleticism. The athleticism of Shaw. That's a takedown right there. But watch, he's got to shake. Trumbull's got to shake. Trumbull's going to shake. He's going to shake. He's going to shake. And now he's getting reversal. He's got to get one. He's got to get one here. That's the athleticism we were talking about. But it's a tough position right now because Isaac Trumbull is going to lace the ankle and keep the weight on. It's going to be tough. Tough right here.
Shaw is going to need the escape in the final 30 seconds, and there's the stall call underneath. So now it's going to take more for Max Shaw. Second time he's been tagged with stalling. That's huge for Trumbull. 4-2 lead NC State, and he has Shaw completely bellied out right now.
We said it was going to be a tight match, and it was this last 45 seconds that was the difference. Takedown by Max Shaw. And then a reversal by Isaac Trumbull. Stall call makes it a 4-2.
A battle like we both thought it would be. Shaw had the lead, but just for a moment before Trumbull finished with the last lap.
So here it is. We were looking at a good position, but a good job by Max Shaw to lift and watch him slide his hips. Slide the hips. Gets the reversal. He was just a little too high. If he could have got his hips back just a little more, it might have been different. And then what does Trumbull do? He just gets in. Unfortunately, Max Shaw slips off, and that's the match right there.
Another stall call tagged to Shaw a few moments later, and that ended up a 4-2 win for Trumbull and for North Carolina State. Kyle Rainey hit that submit mixer early, set the tone. The veteran from Virginia, Jared Verclearen. More bonus points for the Wolfpacks. Maddie Singleton in his ACC debut. And then, speaking of ACC championship debuts, the transfer from Hofstra that lived